Mrs. Jones was wearing only a bathrobe. She left the door wide open and stepped onto the sidewalk. Monrisa was surprised to see her leave the house without a purse. She had seen Mrs. Jones several times before and knew she was a prudent woman about her appearance. She never left the house unless she was elegantly dressed and was extremely particular about the style and color of her purse, which always matched her shoes. Mrs. Jones turned to look at the sky and basked in the warmth of the sun. Monrisa watched her in amazement. Mrs. Jones's house was a two-story building, with second-floor windows facing the street. From one of the rooms, someone was watching Mrs. Jones, or Monrisa. The curtain of the window moved slightly, and behind it, Monrisa saw the silhouette of a man. Monrisa quickly pulled back to the side. A moment later, Mrs. Jones pulled her bathrobe tight and went back inside the house. Did the man inside force Mrs. Jones to act this way? Or did he send her out to get my attention and try to catch me? Monrisa wondered. If so, he had almost succeeded. She had acted recklessly. Was she found? Monrisa went to the kitchen. She was hungry and needed something cold to drink. She found a bottle of red wine in the fridge. She drank almost half of it straight from the bottle. Then she poured some into a glass and took a sip while looking out the kitchen window. She sat on the kitchen counter and started to think, wondering what she should do next. She got up, went to the bathroom to brush her teeth, and lay down in bed with her shoes on. When darkness fell, Monrisa headed for Mrs. Jones's house. Her mind was working at full speed. She gently knocked on the front door. She approached Mrs. Jones's door, pressing an ear to the cold wood. Nothing, only the sound of her own breathing mixed with the occasional rustle of leaves outside. Maybe she had left. But where could she have gone at this hour? Monrisa knocked slowly on the door. "Mrs. Jones?" she asked. But received no answer. The silence stretched on. When she stepped onto the porch, she could see an overturned flower pot and dirt on the doormat. Monrisa stepped into the dimly lit hallway. "Mrs. Jones?" she asked again, although her instinct screamed at her to run. With a glance over her shoulder, she moved forward. When she reached the kitchen door, she stopped. Her breath caught in her throat. Mrs. Jones was leaning against the refrigerator. She was pale, her eyes wide with fear. "Monrisa, I think he's looking for you," Mrs. Jones said with difficulty, pointing towards a man, strong but heavy-set. "You seem troubled." The stranger said in a low voice, "I keep my distance from what I don't understand. Even if I see things others don't," Monrisa replied. "Can you give me an example? When everyone thinks a man is too slow, I know he is dangerous." The man said, taking a step closer. "So, you have a certain perspective. Tell me, what do you think of people who hide, like you?" "I mean, not very well, since you've been found. Not at all the same opinion I have about those who take money they are owed," Monrisa said, slowly moving to a specific position. "Were you sent by Mr. Tosh?" "Yes, I figured. He wants his money back. He owed me a certain amount. I also charged interest. I usually charge interest for the inconvenience. For the wasted time." The man smiled, an amused expression on his face. "You're funny. You think you're clever. I almost don't understand what you mean. Then I'll explain it to you. I will only ask you once. Do you want to leave and deliver a message to Mr. Tosh, or do you choose to end up in the hands of the authorities?" The man moved even closer, so that their bodies almost touched. "Aren't you afraid?" the stranger asked. "I can see people's souls and I know their deepest secrets. Does it really work?" "And what is my secret? I am a keen observer. From my offer, you chose the wrong option." Monrisa extended her index finger towards the stranger's head. He began to breathe more and more heavily and finally sat on the floor. "Mrs. Jones, bring something to tie up this stranger. Then do as you see fit. I'm leaving. Nothing ties me to this place anymore. I will go to another city where I will meet handsome men, not like this one." "Were you married, Mrs. Jones?" "Yes, I had my life, and I lived it as I saw fit. He worked a lot. He was away from home, so it was very easy to live my own life without him asking questions. I had relationships with many men in Hekobel. Manrisa headed towards the city of Chaltamek. When Tosh returned home, he was surprised by such a visit. Manrisa was lying on his bed, reading. "Sit down," Manrisa said, pointing to a chair. "Did you come to bring me the money?" Mr. Tosh tried to joke. Manrisa fixed her gaze on Mr. Tosh. He started to tremble slightly. "Put $5,000 on the table. That's what it costs you to pay for the trip I made. You wanted to see me. So you pay for the inconvenience, not if you understand." Tosh nodded affirmatively. "Listen to me carefully. If you dare to send another poor soul to look for me, be ready to pay up." After Manrisa left, Tosh remained motionless in the chair for a while. He was trembling all over. He looked at his pants. He had wet himself. Manrisa put the bag with the $5,000 in the trunk, up behind the wheel, and drove off. This idiot amused me. I fight against evil in general, and maybe I don't always choose the most suitable methods, she thought, and burst into a fit of laughter.